Okay, thank you, Reb Mordechai Hellinger, for joining us. Today, Israeli time, tonight, American time. Um, so, uh, Before we start, Mordechai, can you tell us about yourself to understand your Chabad Shliach in Hebron, as well as part of the IDF on reserves? So, can you please tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, so first of all, let's go back. I came here to the land of Israel as a yeshiva student, and after finishing my studies in Kiryat Gat, I came and joined the Chabad of Hebron team. And my position then was a Chabad runner, as we call it. I would go around all night to the soldiers here and give coffee, cookies, and really just to be there to cheer up their, I guess, take care of their body and soul. And till about 10 o'clock in the morning, nap a bit, and then take care of them with tefillin, Torah, barbecues, pizza parties. After over a year of doing this fun, exciting schedule, I went on vacation to join the army. I was a sergeant in the Golani Infantry Brigade, finished my service there, and then I continued my work with Chabad. And as part of the reserves, my reserve unit is the Judean Battalion. So we stay local with any type of situation that were to arise. We know the area best, so this is what we do as well. So now I'm with the Chabad House and taking care of security measures that needed to be done.
Okay, for those who don't know what the Gulani Brigade is, can you tell me a little bit about that?
So, everybody will tell you this, but Golani is, everybody will tell you this about their own unit. But Golani is one of the most prestigious infantry brigades in the IDF. I have taken a serious part in every one of the wars, including this war. Unfortunately, my unit got very, very badly hit on that Shabbat morning, but they are sprung back, and now they're in Gaza, and we're praying for them every day.
Oh wow! So Gulani just means there's more training. It's more.
It's one of the more intensive infantry units out of the five main infantry units, but all of the infantry and the entire army really are all doing a phenomenal job, doing their best to protect the Jewish people.
Got it. So okay, so let's go right into. You said that that Shabbos morning. So you said your unit was hit. Where were you? What was the situation?
That's what my regular unit. I've been out of the army for quite some time,
Yeah.
and I was on my way to pray Shabbat morning. For those of you who maybe are not familiar, in outside of the land of Israel, holidays are kept 2 days. Here it's kept 1 day. So that Shabbat morning was Simchat Torah. I was with my two older boys. We were walking on the way to the Ma'arat Machpelah, the resting place of the cave of the patriarchs, the resting place of our mothers and fathers. And as I'm a minute away from my house on the walk, with I had some goodies for the kids that would come to dance with the Torah. My friend pulls up next to me and says, Mordechai, turn around, go back home, get on your uniform, and grab your gear and run. Uh, I was taken aback for a second. He says, Yalla, wartime, let's go. So I right away grabbed my things and called my commander and hopped into the car Shabbat morning. But this is what has to be done. And I was right away sent to one of the guard posts here to give reinforcements because we're always afraid that God forbid something can happen here as well. And ever since then, been dressed in this uniform, and it was a very surreal, intensive time just to sit there and think of, you know, this is what the Yom Kippur War must have looked like. And I was there for many, many hours. I actually, before I went, I managed to grab some grape juice and some challah, so I'd be able to make kiddush there. And um, it was just just sitting there and thinking, now what? It's a very, very tough thing to think about. And popped into my head a song that was composed by A.B. Rottenberg about a man from Vilna that after the Holocaust goes back to Vilna and everybody somehow converges onto the synagogue and they show up and somebody says, tonight is Simchat Torah, and they go to open up the ark and there's nothing there, and the synagogue is completely destroyed and ruined. And the chorus is, we danced around in circles as if the world has done no wrong. And that was for me in my head, this is what it's all about, and we have to continue because Am Yisrael Chai is not something that we just say, it's something that we live by. So after many hours on guard duty, I got a bit of a break, and I went home. And for my family and kids, and obviously we didn't know the scope of the atrocities that happened that morning. And I said to the kids, "All right, now it's time to dance because this is what God wants of us." And my little boy went to his neighbor and borrowed his toy Sefer Torah, and we did hakafot. We danced with the Torah around my dining room table, and that has really been the message that I tell it to myself and also try to inspire others ever since then, that we have to continue on. We have to, we can't let them take us down. And unfortunately, atrocities like this, unfathomable that it would happen in our generation, but we can't let them destroy our spirit.
Right. So so you have your army gear at home. That's where you ran to go get it.
So I have some of the gear at home. Some of them I had
Right.
to pick up at a local office, but yeah, meaning we're here ready to go hit the ground rolling.
Right. And then you personally had any encounters with anyone, or during those hours with any, terrorists? There was no one in your area, I'm assuming.
There were local jihadis that tried to get involved, and the soldiers here showed them very quickly that this is not going to happen.
Wow. Okay. And so you mentioned there's people in your unit who you knew who were hit. So these are people you knew personally, and how are
So
they
I've
doing then?
been okay. So I've been out of the army for a regular uh, service for quite a while. So there are some of the people that I know there. Friends of mine, their children were killed. Actually somebody who was here as a volunteer, like I was, a Chabad runner. He is now a pretty high up officer in the army, and he, with his soldiers, he personally eliminated tens of terrorists, and he himself was shot multiple times. And thank God he's doing all right. And a friend of mine here, so I'm also part of an anti-terror first responder team, and that's the reason why much of the gear is at my home. So one of our officers here, he is direct, in reserves. He's head of a medical under fire evacuation unit. And the second that he heard of things, he went straight down south. He picked up literally 3, 4 of his friends, and he went in and he managed to save over 150 people, eliminated tens of terrorists. And Moshe, when he was asked about my friend, when he was asked about how many terrorists did you eliminate, he says, I don't focus on that. I focus on how many lives we saved, and thank God it was many. It was very surreal almost that somebody sent over a bit of donations of Camelback water backpacks, and he says, Mordechai, I need a new one. Mine was shot. So it's real. It's close to home, and we have to do our best to protect the physical well-being and also to keep our spirits high.
Right. So I can imagine that puts you in an interesting position because on the one hand, you're a rabbi, on the other hand, you're a friend, and on the other hand, you're also a soldier in the army. So like, what was your feelings and how to approach the families? Like, were you giving them like chizuk, and what was your heart?
So the Rebbe always made us soldiers, starting from, as a child, we had Tzivot Hashem, we're in the army of Hashem, and to being a yeshiva student, we're called the soldiers of the house of David. And obviously, the shluchim, us emissaries. And especially when you're, in this side of the army as well, you realize that a mission is a mission, and you can't pay attention to the outside noise, as we call it, Rashi Reka. And we just have to do what we have to do, no matter where we are, how we are, and to be on the offensive, both in tactical but also in good spirits, and keeping hopes high. And to have people reaching out to me from around the world that are nervous and afraid and saddened and depressed, and that's something that we have to convey from here, that no, Am Yisrael Chai is real, is raw. For me to be able to go and stand guard duty, and the patrols that happen here and all the other things that happen here, but to be able to turn around and see the kids running and playing the streets as if there's nothing going on, that is the true victory. So that's what we're all trying to do, and we're all here encouraging each other, each in their own way. And obviously with the with in times like this, there's a spiritual awakening as well, so we're trying to assist with everything on that front. And, Jewish people are waking up.
Right. So you're still like serving as a rabbi while you're right now on duty, what I understand, right? You're right now at a watch post, correct? So you're also a rabbi at the same time, like giving that's what I'm understanding.
Yep, yep. We have to do everything necessary. As every Chabad rabbi is a cook, a psychologist, a therapist, a rabbi, and everything else. Yeah.
Man with many hats all at the same time. Um, all right. So I guess what would be a message for that you'd have for people who I'm saying, how do you first of all for you yourself, how do you deal if you are you ever nervous or scared, and what would you tell um, people who are not in Israel but in America, but we see the anti-Semitism on social media, and I see some people being scared, maybe even taking down a mezuzah or whatever, being scared to walk out with the kippah. What would be, how do you feel about this? You know, because you're in the situation, and also, what would you tell to people who are maybe feeling a little
One
nervous
second
or
here.
scared?
I'm hitting a technical difficulty. 1 second here. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. So what I would say is, first of all, stay off social media. As the one person put it so well, if you want to be nervous, scared, full of anxiety, depressed, read the news. If you want to be optimistic, excited, looking forward to the future, learn history. We got sacked in the face multiple times. It's unfortunately nothing new, and we wanted to believe that we would never see anything like this again. But here we are. And from every situation throughout history, the Jewish people came out stronger, more united than ever before, and that'll be the same thing now as well. It's not simple. It's not easy. 1 second here. Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So the idea of that we have to, well, we'll get through this stronger and better than ever before. And Am Yisrael Chai is really, it's something that we need to live by. It's something that we have to do. It's that's really the only answer that we have, and we can't buckle down to fear, because in the end of the day, that's what terrorists want. Terrorists want us to live in fear. But really, honestly, stay away from the awful loop of the news cycle. They don't report much good, and hold your heads high, because that's really what that's what we're all about, and that's what keeps us through, not just through this, but every hard time throughout history. And remember that we are here in the land of Israel protecting. And we know that our job here is not just to protect the people living here in the city of Hebron or in the land of Israel, but Jews worldwide. And we're happy, strong, and proud, and so should you be. And the Rebbe always, very often, used to speak about that soldiers off to battle go out with a march. War is a scary thing. It's not simple. It's not easy. But when you're sure that you're going to be victorious, you're proud and happy. And not only does that keep you from being depressed, it actually helps being victorious.
Okay. Wow.
And to most importantly, remember, let me just add that your being a proud Jew where you are gives us the strength here. We know that the Tefillin campaign, the Rebbe started ahead of the 6-Day War, quoting the verse that says, "All the nations of the world will see that the name of God is upon you, and they will fear you." And the Talmud asks, rightfully so, what does that mean? The name of God is upon you, and it says that this is the tefillin of the head. That by putting on tefillin, it causes our enemies to fear us. And honestly, for me, just getting the messages of people around the world who started putting on tefillin in honor of us over here. And I just got a message from somebody who they met I think it's about 96-year-old who ran away from the ghetto, and he joined up with the partisans, and he fought the Nazis, and he put on tefillin yesterday for the first time in honor of us here in the land of Israel. So it's really amazing. It's really awesome. And when you're strong as proud Jews where you are, wherever you may be, it gives us the strength here to continue up this fight.
Wow. It's very inspirational to hear it from you because you're on the front lines, and whatever, strength that you're going with, it pours over to us because you're on the front lines. So it's just really amazing what you're doing. What would you suggest for women who are looking for, something to do to show their Jewish pride?
So first and foremost, Shabbat candles. The most simplest light. We need light in the world. We're in a dark time. We need light. We need to be proud Jews. And in the end of the day, we saw that unfortunately our enemies didn't care if it was the oldest of people or the youngest of babies. And we generally refer to the woman as the anchor of the home. So first of all, to stay optimistic, I can say just on a plain level, the kids feel it. They feel when people are nervous. We have to show them the proper way and instill Jewish pride from a young age. Just to be proud Jews, Shabbat candles, and all the other amazing mitzvot. Taking challah is a very, very, very special mitzvah that, as well, is brought down to have amazing powers and be miraculous. So do all those mitzvot and have us in mind, and spread more light, not empty. When after the Holocaust, there was an effort by some alliance of Jewish organizations in the United States that for the Pesach Seder, everybody should have an empty chair in memory of one of the victims of the Holocaust. And when they came to the Rebbe said, on the contrary, you should have an extra chair, but it should be full with another person. So spread light, a little bit of light shines up a very, very dark area. So really the Shabbat candles and all the other amazing mitzvot and tzedakah. Tzedakah is taking from something that you worked hard for and giving it to somebody else. It's about giving over from your hard efforts. So that's also an amazing mitzvah. And it says that tzedakah brings salvation to the Jewish people. And what better time than now to have it?
Wow. Okay. So yeah, we'll get back to also the tzedakah as well, how to support you. But I wanted to hear, you mentioned about social media. If you would mind sharing, I saw in your WhatsApp status about maybe a chlata that you made about social media. If you would mind sharing about that.
So I on Rosh Hashanah, I made a resolution that no news, no social media, no anything, and it's a key to happiness. What can I tell you? A lot of times people feel like they have to be updated, they have to be in the know. There's not much, there's unfortunately the news doesn't start in the morning. Here in Israel, good morning. 9 million people woke up this morning and went to work without any problems, and they have food on their table, and kids were able to go to school. They always magnify, the negative, and it doesn't give much to society. And this is just on a practical, a psychological, emotional state. There's no need to be in the loop cycle. It almost is it's almost, you want to feel like you're doing something, but you don't feel like you have what to do. So you grab your algorithmically designed glass device and continue the endless scroll. It doesn't help much. And as you can see, I'm here on the front lines and I'm fine. I get all the updates that I need without having to go through the endless loop of the news cycle.
That's pretty incredible because I feel like personally, like every minute I have to find out what is going on in Israel, and you're there on the front lines, and you don't feel the need to be on social media and to stay focused. And yeah, it's powerful, and it's very true. Um, I guess is there any inspirational specific stories that have happened with you in the IDF, the reserves, or I guess you mentioned the tefillin story with someone putting on tefillin, but any other stories that come up in your mind that kind of give motivation during these hard times a little bit?
Wow, just so many. Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu, one of the leading rabbinical figures in Israel today, he was speaking to a group of soldiers, and he said, when you go to synagogue and somebody gives 100 shekel donation, people are like, wow, that's very nice. And when somebody gives 1,000 shekels or 10,000 shekels, or somebody will get up and say, I'm giving 1,000,000 shekels to the community, people would be blown away. But when you have people here who are giving their most, they're giving their life, both ready to give it up, but even just in the day to day, soldiers don't have morning, don't have night. And for them to be able to give up their life for others is the most amazing thing. And I have a guy with me who's 70, in his 70s, and he's a combat soldier. I don't worry, I did training exercise with him. He's better than most. People who got on flights and came here to fight for the Jewish people is awesome and so inspiring.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. We personally know some people came from California as well. Who flew in all the way to help. So about charity, like what way can we support you? So right now you're running a synagogue. I understand you're also supporting soldiers in your unit or something like that.
So our main focus in Chabad of Hebron generally, well, I deal with tourists a lot, but unfortunately we don't have much of that now. But as Chabad of Hebron as an organization, our focus is with the soldiers. So we're doing a lot to be there to support them emotionally, physically, sorry, and take care of various different needs that are needed. So I'm trying to help that. So that comes out, to be some of the extra gear that's needed, or barbecues, or somebody missed their meal. We have meal vouchers. We also are doing efforts for what we call reservist families. So here in Kiryat Arba alone, we have about 250 families that the fathers are out in reserves, and so whether it be that the family can come pick up a meal voucher, that the mom knows that at least one meal is taken care of at one of the local restaurants, and that also supports the local economy, and many other efforts of that sort.
Wow. So that is something you're running. Okay, great. So if we want to support you, what is the best way? The link you sent me?
Yes, I can send you the link, and
Okay.
yeah, please spread and share. And it's amazing to feel how the Jewish people are united, and that is a way that you can help the guys on the ground here, and it gives the feeling that we're in this together, and it's very, very powerful.
Okay, wow. Thank you for your time and inspiration.
Sure.
It's really we're here to support you 100%. We're here for you, mitzvahs for you, and donations to support you. Um, and of course, if there's anything that you need, like on the spot emergency, please let us know right away, so that way we send it as soon as possible. The funds that are needed. So, is there any, I guess, messages that you want to leave us off the to Pinga community? We're next to LA. Just giving you a little. We're like the Tzfas of California. Just to put in
Oh, that's
perspective
beautiful.
who you
Very
are.
mystical.
Yeah.
Um, keep your heads high. Really. Yes, we got knocked down, but we're standing, and Am Yisrael Chai is not just something we say; it's something that we do. Be a proud Jew wherever you are. Remember, they're trying to destroy our spirit. We're not going to let them. We're going to bounce back stronger than ever before.
Wow. Okay. Hopefully, we should see only good news going forward. And
Amen.
for you, family, the soldiers that you're taking care of, your unit, and every Jew um, in Eretz Yisrael. Thank you so much for your time, and tzlacha, Mashiach
All
now.
right, keep up the great work over there, and definitely, hopefully, we'll see you all here very soon with Mashiach now.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, settle. Good.
Okay. Shkoyach.